Ukrainians are very religious. There are many Orthodox people, but this Russian Orthodox Church, since the days of Stalin, has been a spy agency. And yesterday, the Ukrainian parliament, they're banning it.
Before we continue, we invite you to follow our channel, the only American show reporting live from Ukraine every day.
We go live to Ukraine to check in with Joseph Lindsley this morning. And Joseph, the headlines we're getting here, Reuters, Ukraine attacks Moscow in one of the largest ever drone attacks. What's going on out there?
Wendy, hello from Kyiv. And yes, as has happened, sort of sporadically, really in the past year, Ukraine has developed drones. Here, they're drones that are made here in Ukraine, and because of that, Ukrainians can use them however they wish. There's no restrictions. Washington can't restrict Ukraine from sending drones toward anywhere in Russia. In the same way that Washington does restrict Ukraine from using weapons made in America, even if they're donated by Denmark or England, they're still restricted. And so Ukrainians, in order to survive, are finding ways to push through the system and to find the targets that they can hit precisely. I think when they send drones toward Moscow, it's probably more a signal that they have an ability to get to the Russian capital. More than anything, I think that's probably what they're trying to achieve. The most effective Ukrainian drone operations have been in the Black Sea, where I think a lot of people forget. But there's no more Russian Navy in the Black Sea. Ukraine has pretty much destroyed it. Or, they made the Black Sea so dangerous for Russian ships that there are hardly ever any Russian ships now in the Black Sea because of what Ukrainian drones can do. And Ukrainians frequently use drones to hit Russian oil refineries. That's a sticking point. America, usually Washington's not happy when the oil is touched. But even as there were a number of Ukrainian drones going toward Moscow, we've seen here in Ukraine really in about the past 36 hours, an unusually high level of Russian drone activity. We've had so many error alarms. Wendy, I can't even tell you how many times I woke up through the night to the air raid alarm here in Kyiv. And I even had dreams seeing the Iranian-made suicide drones. They're like the size of they have a sort of the footprint size of a Mini Cooper, except they're lower. And I saw that in my dreams, coming at me because that's what was flying around the country last night. Here in Kyiv, none of the drones were able to reach the city. They were shot down before they reached Kyiv, but not all the drones were shot down. Usually Ukrainians are pretty good at intercepting these, but it seems like at least 12 or 15 out of about 60 were able to hit their targets. And the Russians have been targeting a lot of places in western Ukraine, and in the western city of Ternopil. It's a lovely city, Ternopil, on a lake. Beautiful medieval square, and it's just a nice, calm city. The Russians have been hitting that area a lot, and there was a very strange warning yesterday about chlorine in the air. People were told not to go outside, and it's not known if this is because some industrial facility was hit, or if it's some kind of chlorine bomb. And so this is a disturbing thing. And we've known that in the East, Russians have been using some chemical warfare, but this has never really happened in the West. So that's a disturbing thing. And then meanwhile, Ukrainians are, the advance into Kursk in Russia is slowing down. It's, a significant, Ukrainians are not gaining much new territory anymore right now, but they're holding on to what they have. And that has been such a huge morale boost for Ukraine, and the Russians realize it, so they're trying to counteract it. For example, the Kadyrov, who's the Chechen warlord who works for Putin, he said that there were a bunch of Ukrainian prisoners captured and that they all committed suicide. And most Ukrainians know that that's probably not true. That if they're dead, it's because they were killed. But these things are meant to hurt the psyche of Ukrainians, but I think generally we see that what's happened in Kursk has been a boost, and in fact we have this moment in the Ukrainian parliament yesterday. I first heard about it because Americans were texting me saying, "Joe, why is Ukraine banning all Orthodox, banning the Orthodox religion?" Well, that's not true at all. But the Russian propaganda sort of takes the situation and twists it. Yesterday, the Ukrainian parliament introduced a ban on Russian-affiliated churches within Ukraine. It gave them 9 months to unlink themselves from Moscow. And it's a very tricky thing. I think it's part of the reason why the parliament has resisted doing this. The people of Ukraine have wanted this for a long time. But the Russian Orthodox Church, with the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, religion was canceled in Russia. But Joseph Stalin brought back the Orthodox Church to act as spies. And these past 2.5 years, hardly any Ukrainians go anymore to the Russian Orthodox Church, but the priests are still there. And they help guide missile attacks onto Ukrainian cities. And they've been untouchable because Ukraine is known, if you go after the Russian Orthodox Church, people like Tucker Carlson are going to say you're attacking religion. And this is not religion. It's an appendage of the Russian government, of the Kremlin. And, religion, Ukrainians are very religious. There are many Orthodox people, usually with the Ukrainian Orthodox Church based in Kyiv. There's Roman Catholics, there's Greek Catholics, Muslims, and Jews. Religion and freedom of religion is so important to Ukrainians. But this Russian Orthodox Church, since the days of Stalin, has been a spy agency. And yesterday, the Ukrainian parliament, they're banning it. That's what the headline says. But they're actually giving these churches 9 months to unlink themselves from Moscow. It's an important nuance to introduce it into those stories.
Well, thank you for the update today. Yesterday, as we disconnected from you, we got a text, and Dave Ennett suggested I share it with you. 708 texted us right as you disconnected, and it says, "Hey, Wendy, is Joseph Lindsley hot?" So
I'll answer it literally. It's 95 degrees. It's 95 degrees here. So yes, and I've been under missile fire and artillery fire. So in that sense, absolutely yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I responded absolutely, just so you know. So all right. Well, Joseph, we will check in with you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, you can go to UkrainianFreedomNews.com. Thank you, Joseph. Stay safe.
Thank you for introducing Ukraine on your social media pages. That's very important that much more people can get more information about the situation here and how everybody can help Ukraine to stay stronger and to save all the world.
Что он сказал?
Well, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Come on now. Oh, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Седьмая.